Yo, yo, what's good, y'all? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yo, what up, son? X, Sinks, Six. Loco is 1 minute late, 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late. Loco has punctuality issues now. Bro, I was 5 minutes late. Dead ass 5 minutes late. Yo, y'all are something else. Bro, I was 5 minutes late. Come on now. What the fuck? Itachi might unironically get put in a sand mausoleum. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Night Owl stream is on, y'all. Drop a like. That's what I'm saying, Blunt. Hey, Blunt, I'll call you in about 15. About 15. Maybe 10. Loco, you were 5 minutes late. I came early for this stream. This topic is interesting. That's what I'm saying. Why were you late? I almost had technical difficulties again. If I did, I would have had to restart the entire stream. I would have had to cancel this one and restart a whole one so I could like reboot my PC. So I'm glad that I caught it. So if I didn't take that extra time, I would have been even more than 5 minutes late. So yeah, it was a good thing I was, huh? Hope your night is going well. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that, cuz. I'm glad y'all are here. Bro said finally. The hell? What did I do? What's up, Kid Goku? 6 a.m. again. Come on, Loco. You can do better than that. Bruh. Bro, you just gotta move to a better time zone. If I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't... Hold on. Oh, shit. I don't even know, bro. But you need to move to a better time zone, like dead ass. Like, you need to move so you can watch the streams earlier, bro. Oh man, I can't wait for this video though. I am hyped up for this video. My buddy, I'm gonna be reacting to it with my boy Blunt Sensei. He's been on here several times before, and he suggested this video to me, I think last weekend. So it's been a while. This topic has been in my head for like almost a week now, pretty much, and I've been almost as eager to watch this one as I was when I reacted to Daigo Knight's video yesterday. That was fucking dope yesterday. I had a lot of fun last stream. If you guys missed it, once again, I did put all the streams into a playlist. They're not going to be up on the live tab on the channel. Just look under the playlist tab, and there's a link to that playlist in the description for every live stream. So yeah. Oh shit. What time? What time is it for you, Loco? Should I leak the time zone, yo? Should I leak the time zone? Crazy. Loco, what is 2 to the square root of 2? It's gonna be like some crazy decimal. Let me look it up. Okay. It's 2.665. Hey, are you Julian? You're on here on the alt account or what? Are doing zombie duo clap the Kage? Not the zombie duo, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Hidan is getting folded immediately, and then Kakazu is getting gangbanged. And Datara and Sorcery gets no diff, and Datara just gets soloed by Onoki, or like they like Datara and Onoki have a good fight, and like Sorcery just gets like fucking slammed by everybody else. Which 5 Kage are this? The title of Seth's video is What if Itachi Uchiha went to the 5 Kage summit? So I am assuming that that it's Danzo and not Tsunade. That's part of the 5 Kage this time. Oh, all 4 combined? Maybe. If it's all 4 combined, then possibly. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Dater is definitely the strongest one there, but like once again, Onoki's like a perfect match for him. Gaara versus Sasori would be interesting, but like Gaara is fucking insane. Did A lose power from losing his arm? Hey, what's up, Morgan, by the way? But I've seen arguments for that. So the argument for A losing his arm is that he lost the chakra network in his arm, so he'd be like, he wouldn't have as much chakra as he normally has to use to power his body, but at the same time, he doesn't have to use that extra chakra to power his arm because, you know, he doesn't have it anymore. So it kind of like, I guess it doesn't necessarily equal out, but it's like unquantifiable. He probably could win this if it's not all together. Like if he does like, man, I just don't think any member of the Akatsuki can solo the 5 Kage, even if it's not all at once. Like if it's back to back to back, I still don't think any Akatsuki member could do it. I just think the 5 Kage are like that, to be honest. They're just fucking cracked. Absolutely cracked. It's just like, it depends on who he fights first and all that stuff, but like even then, it's like, the Kage are incredibly overpowered. A is fucking insane. Onoki is fucking cracked. Gaara is so underrated, bro. And then there's Tsunade as well. It's like, he's just not, well, actually Tsunade isn't in this one. I'm assuming Tsunade ain't here, but yeah. Still, even if it's Danzo, like Danzo is still fucking pretty fast. He's not physically strong, but he's fast. What's up, Clever Stone? Somehow I'm making it to these streams. I'm glad you're here, bro. I am glad y'all are here. Bro, they got mad at me because I was 5 minutes late. Shit's crazy. But yeah. To be honest, I don't know. It's probably Itachi. There's arguments for both. Yeah. Oh, for Sick Itachi versus Sage Mode Naruto? Pain Arc Naruto? Sick Itachi has better speed scaling. Probably has better hacks too, to be honest. It's probably Itachi. War Arc Sage Naruto slams though. But I talked about that yesterday, didn't I? Yeah. That was the topic for yesterday. Yesterday's stream. Alright, let me get Blunt in here. What the fuck? Give me 1 second. Let me find his. There he is. All right. While we're waiting on him to join, drop a like on the stream, boys. Let's get it, bro. I'm so hyped for this topic, bro. Hey, Blunt, you there? You there, bro?
Yeah, what's good?
What's up, bro? I'm glad you chose this topic, bro. I'm glad you told me about this. This is gonna be a dope ass video, bro.
Absolutely.
I've been looking forward to this. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me get my headphones in real quick.
Shit. Yeah, got you, bro. First time I'm early to the stream, bro. That's what everyone says. I think I streamed too late at night. But I'm glad you're here, Edie? Edie? Tobirama versus Edo Itachi. Unfortunately, Edo Itachi is getting his cheeks clapped. Alright. All right.
Yeah, now I'm ready.
All right. Let me take the cowboy cover off, and let me stream it to you. All
Here we
right.
go. Night Owl stream is on. Drop a
Let's get
like.
it. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up, JSB? All right, Blunt. What are your thoughts on Itachi versus the 5Kage? Danzo
Okay.
Kage.
Yeah, so they say that it's gonna be Kisame and Itachi basically pulling up to the summit. So if that's the case, I think they definitely can run the gauntlet easily. If it's against all five, then that makes it a little more interesting. But the one thing that's really important to note is if he has Kisame, Itachi can fight so much more efficiently. He doesn't have to go for the MS.
Honestly, I forgot that they included Kisame. I haven't watched this yet. So if they include Kisame, this is definitely a lot more interesting, I think. Uh, Fuck, man. Actually, I might think they might win this, actually.
Yeah, no, they should win. If it's Kisame and Itachi, they're definitely winning.
They actually might win. Fuck, man. Damn. You know what? As of right now, for me, it's kind of a toss-up. I'm not gonna say who I think wins. I think this is actually a dope matchup. I thought it was gonna be Itachi soloing, but shit, maybe this is gonna be like a dope-ass video. Let's see what Seth got to say though. So right now, I'm gonna hold on to my thoughts, but let me cut off this music, and let's get into the video. Like the stream, boys.
Hello everyone, it's your host, Seth the Programmer. With me today, I have Overweight Man. We're talking about
Yo, I didn't know 6 was on here.
Itachi at the 5Kage
Yeah,
Summit.
he had no chill.
Now, before we get into the video, I'd like to proudly announce that this video has been sponsored by Bloodline.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you probably want to skip like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I was about to say sorry, Seth. I gotta skip this. Skip that ad, yeah.
Because I don't know, it sounded cool, you know. You see Sasuke at the Kage Summit, and you're like low-key hearing him get compared to Itachi the entire time, whether it be his Genjutsu, his control of Amaterasu, or whatever it is. He gets compared to Itachi, and I think even in the data books they actually compare Itachi to Sasuke at this point pretty directly. And I also wanted to go over what it would be like for Kisame to also roll up in there, because, you know, Sasuke had all his boys with him, so we thought, you know, let's throw Kisame in there. So it'd basically be what if Itachi and Kisame went to the Kage Summit, and we can just say hypothetically,
Itachi and Kisame thug hunting.
just threw them in there to harass the Kage to make them like listen to his demands better or something, which is sort of like what the plan was low-key anyway, on top of training Sasuke. So we'll just say that he kind of just sent them there for that purpose rather than training one of them or something. So that was the only purpose. So we could maybe say that he would plant little Zetsus on everybody or whatever as well. That's a possibility. Maybe he'd show up at the very end, you know, like he did with Sasuke. And I guess we'll kind of just do it in like the story order, where Itachi and Kisame, they would raid the summit, and then the Raikage would be like, "What did you do to my brother?" And then like he would like ram out there. And
like, you could even have him
like
come in on the same energy. Like, let's just say Sasuke captured B as well. It's like, where's your brother at? He kidnapped my brother or something like that.
I mean, if it makes it like less headcanon-y or whatever, we can just say that Itachi was captured.
Yeah, I mean, either or.
You know, like,
for whatever reason, they're at the summit, and then the Raikage.
Bro, is it just me, or does 6 sound weird? 6 sounds like he's only speaking in my left ear. I can't hear fucking 6 in my right ear. The fuck?
No, I think they had him like really low mic quality, so it was kind of like background sounding.
Is it like, Chad? Is it like that for y'all? Can y'all, for those of you that are wearing like headphones right now, can you hear 6 on like both sides of your headphones? Because I can only hear him on my left ear. And Seth sounds fine, and the background music sounds fine, but same? Damn it. Bro, 6, why did your mic cookie, bro? No. Bro, I'm gonna have to be dealing. Bro, I hate this shit. I hate that shit. I hate only having sound in one ear. Damn it. I only hear Seth? Fucking hell. What's up, Majin? What about you, Blunt? Can you hear both of them? Like, clearly, or?
Yeah, but it did sound a little more muffled for 6. But I was gonna say, just make sure you know the timestamp, and that way, if you restart the video,
I don't think it's me. I think it's the video.
It probably is a video.
Seth sounds fine to me, so I think it's just Six's mic.
It comes in, you know, I'm gonna show you True Fury or whatever.
Sorry, guys.
And then him and Itachi get the scrapping. So it's Itachi.
Bad line.
It's Itachi and Kisame, and they're in the room. Their main opponents, anyway, at this point, is gonna be Raikage, Darui, and C. I sort of think.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are running a gauntlet. Okay.
The way Itachi and Kisame work, Kisame normally lets Itachi handle like the big guys. Like he was the same way with Jiraiya. He was like, I don't know if I can take him, so I'm gonna let you have it. And when they were getting away, obviously it was Itachi who opened the hole in the giant frog belly to get away. So Kisame is probably gonna start fighting with C and Darui, and Itachi's gonna fight the Raikage. Now, when it comes to the difficulty of both fights, I think Kisame versus Darui and C is gonna go fairly simply. And there's a few reasons why. So Kisame, just before the summit, a little bit before the B fight, Kisame has a fight with Suigetsu, where he's like holding back. It's while Itachi and Sasuke are fighting. And then after that, when they're having their little conference with Obito, Sasuke tells Suigetsu, just back off Kisame. You can't beat Kisame. And then we got Suigetsu, who's running into the summit, and he's able to block a holding back Raikage at the same time that Jugo
Bro, he's hyping up Suigetsu. Let's go.
Blocks Darui. So if that's the case, and you just do some linear like ABC type scaling from there. Like, okay, Suigetsu and Kisame is a little bit stronger. They're around the same level as Jugo, who's faster than Darui. And then C is sort of like the hangback guy, so it's not implied he's all too combat pickle. Oh my god, it's
pickle.
Combat pickle. That goes crazy. You
anyway,
think about
it's
food
not implied he's all.
Yo, bro, listen to what he said. That shit funny as hell.
Bat guy, so it's not implied he's all too combat pickle. Oh my god, it's
combat pickle. That goes crazy. You
anyway,
think about food
it's
already.
not implied he's all too
So
combat pickle outside of his genjutsu, which we don't even know if C could genjutsu someone with as much chakra as Kisame. Like, would it be like since you inject your chakra into someone else to control their senses or whatever, is it just like C drops his chakra into Kisame's ocean of chakra? So
well, I mean, that's kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie, because like motherfuckers be genjutsuing the Bijou all the time. So it's like the Bijou have vast amounts of chakra, and then like people are still able to fucking control them. Like Madara and fucking 14-year-old Obito can control the Bijou with like I feel like it's the same fucking thing. So I think that genjutsu would work on him like that. Combat pickle versus combat lettuce. Fucking hell. I like this stream, boys.
sort of like trying to dye the ocean red with a drop of food coloring or something like that. So you can't really prove C can genjutsu Kisame. And then with Kisame versus Darui, like I said earlier, he's just faster. He can absorb tons of chakra in one swipe. I think like up to 6 tails of a V1 cloak from B. So that fight's going pretty simply, at least the way I broke it down. But you know, you can get into Itachi versus Raikage.
Yeah, so some interesting facts about Itachi is that apparently it's stated that the only time, or the first time, Sasuke begins to surpass Itachi in really any capacity when it comes to like ocular abilities and all of that, is when he actually gets the EMS. So everything you see in the War Arc versus Jubito, what you see versus Sage Kabuto, all of those scraps would be what would be considered above Itachi's alive, arsenal with his eyes, basically. Like, maybe not with Edo. Maybe Edo Tensei is a bit different because his body's healthier, or whatever you want to say, however you want to cope with it. But basically, what it's implying is that.
Well, it doesn't specify. To be fair to Sasuke, it doesn't specify like what version of Itachi. You wouldn't really be able to assert that. Actually, it does kind of lean towards like Edo Itachi more, but he just says he surpasses his brother in all forms of ninjutsu and dojutsu, and that they're like considered to be equals by the end of the Kabuto fight, and then obviously Sasuke gets stronger after that. So you can still say that like Itachi's overall more impressive than 5 Kage Summit Sasuke, but I wouldn't say that he's necessarily like that much faster than he is, because y'all know how I feel about Sasuke, bro.
At the Itachi that we see throughout the series that was suppressed versus CM2 Sasuke, Curse Mark 2 Sasuke, and no diff to Orochimaru in like 2 seconds with his Susanoo. Now, when it comes to that, it is highly unlikely that the Raikage would just absolutely just lariat bomb, or whatever, or elbow chop him, or kill him in one hit, as Sasuke is obviously weaker than Itachi, at least implied heavily. And he could still react to all of those version 1 techniques. And mainly when the version 2 Raikage comes out, Itachi is a sensory type, and he probably knows a lot about the Raikage, just like they seem to know a lot about Itachi's abilities. And he would probably know if he isn't fast enough to react to the Raikage, which I'd actually say he is, granted what we see from Edo Itachi. But even if you said he's, for whatever reason, he's just like vaguely faster than MS Sasuke, he would probably know enough to just activate his Susanoo or some type of Susanoo, and then the Raikage just actually cannot do really feasibly anything to him. Even like later on when we see the Raikage fight Madara, that Madara is just kind of like messing around, and even then he could barely damage like Madara's ribcage a lot of the time. Even Tsunade, who's stronger than him, punching like Madara as hard as he can, it kind of like blasts chunks in just like the normal ribcage Susanoo, and they kind of have to like do like multiple combos just to like beat up like a really like lesser possessed Susanoo from Madara, not even like armored or anything like that. So yes, if Itachi whipped it out, the Raikage probably is not doing anything.
Well, I would like to mention. All right, you can go first. You go first.
Oh no, I was just saying pause, but I just don't think that the Raikage would be able to do anything. I just think that like Itachi's perfectly equipped to just defend all attacks, and if he wants to, it's against his character to go that like fast all out. But if he wanted to, he could just like Yadamir his like elbows or his like lariat attempts.
I will say that the Raikage can definitely break through Itachi's ribcage Susanoo, obviously, and I know that we're probably not going to talk about all 5 Kage at once. But if he is being amped by Onoki, he can break through humanoid Susanos, but not necessarily an armored Susanoo. So it kind of depends on what version Itachi's using, but at this point in time, the Raikage would have no way to break through the full fucking armored half-body Susanoo with the Yadamir. So he does make a good point. The only difference in this fight is that Itachi doesn't have Kagetsuchi like Sasuke does for a mutual strike. So if he only puts up his ribcage, then he's going to be getting kind of fucked over. But I don't see any reason why he would just use the ribcage and not just resort to the higher forms of this Susanoo.
Let's be real. But I think something that's more interesting, and I was talking to Six about this, is Kisame versus the Raikage. Like, if that went down. Because we were reading Kisame versus B, and something that Kisame can do is that he can just rip away a bunch of tails from Killer Bee's Chakra Cloak, which are pretty comparable to the Raikage's version 1 Lightning Cloak, right? Version 1 Lightning Cloak is implied to be comparable to like a few tails of B, or maybe his version 2 state, and then version 2 Raikage is what's comparable to like full 8 tails Killer Bee, as an example. So an interesting like little dissection you can have is if the Raikage like toyed around with Kisame like he did with Suigetsu and Jugo and all of them, which he literally did. He actually toyed around with Sasuke, even when he's basically like bloodlusted and wants to kill him. He's still suppressed when he first comes out. So something interesting you could say is Kisame might be able to absorb a ton of chakra from the Raikage and potentially whip out his water bubble. And then after that happens, it's really weird. It's really weird to say like how that would go down from there. Like, there's a potential solo angle for Kisame with these Cloud Ninja, like 100%. And I think even if the Sand Ninja come and you think they'd give him a problem or whatever, if he doesn't apply the bubble or whatever, Itachi just stomps him out with the Susanoo anyways, fully armored Susanoo. I don't think that's even like a contest. But
so
yeah, you can
like with Kisame absorbing so much chakra, like I said earlier, and I think Seth mentioned just then as well, he can take up to 6 tails of chakra from B. So the Raikage is comparable to the 8 tails, at least when he goes into the version 2 cloak, not necessarily the version 1 cloak. And even the version 1 cloak, it has varying levels of chakra. Like, they can get higher or lower. And obviously, when he's in his weaker state, like when he's getting blocked by Suigetsu, he's not at his full power of his V1 or whatever. Because realistically speaking, V1 and V2, these are just like fan terms to help us better understand what we're talking about when we're referring to the Raikage in whatever specific fight. V1 is just the Raikage holding back his lightning cloak to some unknown degree. So if he comes in on the same energy he did with Suigetsu, Kisame might just tear that cloak off. And then what happens with Kisame, when he gets enough chakra, he starts tearing enough chakra away from his opponent, he just gets stronger and stronger. Because Samehada turns the chakra back into stamina and then gives it to Kisame, so he just never gets tired. And then when he merges with Samehada and turns into what everyone calls Fuse Kisame, he can then absorb chakra just through his skin. Like, if he just touches you, he can absorb a massive amount of chakra. Whenever him and B are in the bubble, granted, the bubble absorbs chakra as well. So him and B are in the bubble. Kisame makes contact with B. B's in B2, and he just takes it all away. like to the point where B can't move and he's just on the ground. Literally, the only reason B even survived after that point was because Samehada switched sides and went to his side. But yeah, so like if Fuse Kisame comes out, like Seth said, there's like this weird solo angle for Kisame. Like he might beat Darui, C, Raikage, Gaara, Tamari, Kankuro, and all the other samurai just by himself.
If he gets enough energy, I think. But it also depends.
Hey, catch you later. Who was right? But like up until right now, I do disagree with like not a lot, but some of the things they said. But it's not necessarily like relevant to this video. They just kind of said a few other things about Suigetsu and Sasuke that I personally disagree with. But I do agree with their conclusion that like Itachi and Kisame could win. You could even argue that Kisame might solo. I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but definitely they're coming to the right conclusion here.
Once again on the Raikage's character, because I do think that the implication of B not being able to use his full 8 Tails form in the Kisame fight was sort of indicative of like, okay, he's being held back on purpose to make it more tense. So I do think maybe like version 2 Raikage may give Kisame too much for him to handle. But you know, if Kisame has enough time to like build up off of the Raikage toying around, it's like way more realistic for Kisame to do something there. But once again, even if it is like version 2 Raikage and for whatever reason he just beats up Kisame, like Itachi Susanoo is just never losing to the Raikage. It's just not happening whatsoever. And I'd honestly argue that Itachi is actually just too fast for him. I mean, like a lot of people have been saying this, like scaling Itachi to the Edo version, but we don't really know how the Edo version is amped or nerfed compared to the original.
That's true.
For instance, the Edo version could just have like more like longevity in battle or something like, you know, Hiruzen does or something like that. We have no idea really what exactly the amps are, like what the sickness does to Itachi other than just basic cardio and making it really hard to strain himself. So if that's the case, like he was scrapping with Naruto and B, and then alongside EMS Sasuke, who was scrapping with like a pretty late War Arc KCM Naruto. What do you think he's as fast as KCM 2 at that point, 1.5 or whatever have you?
Yeah, I was gonna say Edo Itachi Perception Blitz B.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because he tells him, "You looked at my eyes," and like he didn't realize he was in Genjutsu, and like it was the 8 Tails that was like, "Yo, you gotta snap out of it."
So Edo Itachi may just be like relative to sick Itachi, to be honest. If any, actually, honestly, alive Itachi might be stronger and faster overall because like deadass, the sickness is only ever implied to be like a nerf to his stamina. Like he can't. It's like a chakra illness, so like his stamina is weakened, but it's never implied to make him like slower or physically weaker or his jutsu like weaker in any type of capacity. So honestly, like the Edo nerf would still apply to Itachi. Like the only thing Itachi, the only thing Edo Itachi has on sick Itachi is just better stamina, to be honest. But he still has the Edo nerf, so logically he should still be like slower and weaker due to the Edo nerf. So you can still scale sick Itachi above Edo Itachi in every category except for like stamina. So I would agree with Blunt saying that he kind of did Perception Blitz B, or at least he outsped him really badly another time. Like him and like B and Naruto like try to hit the ground that Itachi was like currently standing on, and he's just like all like he just dashes across the battlefield. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that panel up.
No, yeah, good. You're pulling it up. This is why I was gonna make the argument, bro. I just think Itachi would be able to like Genjutsu the Raikage and like probably solo him with just 3 Tomo Genjutsu. Like the shit that he did to B, or the shackles that he used on Orochimaru.
What's up, Nick? But like look at this. This is what I was talking about. He's like, Monitor told me the truth. And like you see B swinging down in the background. He just hits the ground right here. Itachi's already up here. And in this panel, Naruto and B are still in like the same position. Like Naruto is still like bent over and B is like leaning down with his sword still on the ground. They're in the exact same position. There's like nothing to prove that they're like even moving. And then Itachi's like all the way back over here already. And then like earlier, obviously like we know about this panel right here. He's swapping hands with KCM1 Naruto. And then what Blunt was referring to is, wait, where's the Genjutsu?
No, it's in front. I was gonna tell you, he outspeeds them the whole time. He literally has to tell them, turn around, I'm behind you. And he didn't know.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm behind you, got you, thanks.
And then he
still dodges
him.
He
still dodges it. Like, that's crazy. Yo, look, how long the video? 23 minutes. 23 minutes. We're already halfway through. Yo, Loco, does Edo Itachi scale to KCM2 Naruto? Fuck no. Not at all. But he does, he's probably closer to like MKCM Naruto. So definitely he's scaling to like normal KCM1. Raikage should also scale above normal KCM1. So you, like in version 2, the Raikage would scale above like normal KCM1. And obviously below mentally amped KCM1. That's how I would scale it. So you can say that Itachi and version 2 Raikage are still in the same realm of speed, especially if you take into the account the heavy Sasuke scaling. Like just stated and shown to be faster than Deidara, who physically dodged and outsped Gaara's Sand. Remember this argument? Blunt, we went over this with fucking Monoichi, and he just, like, Gaara's Sand is like blocking Amaterasu and Guillotine Drop from version 2A. So like you can dead-eye scale Sasuke and Itachi to version 2A based off that. Obviously, it's just it's kind of weird because like you normally wouldn't think that Itachi and Sasuke would scale this high, but they're definitely pretty fucking fast. So like A may not even have a speed advantage on them, to be honest, except for like Shunshin, obviously.
That's way beyond the Raikage's pay grade, as we know. So I do not see that happening at all with the Raikage's favor. But if you go then to Mei, which would happen, they'd go to Mei. Mei just gets obliterated by
Hey, did we just like skip Gaara or what happened? I think we just skipped Gaara.
Oh, no, because remember how the sequence went? They kind of like scrapped with Mei before Gaara got involved.
No, it went Raikage, Gaara, Mei, Onoki, and then like later Danzo, right?
Okay, I think they pretty much just said that they think they would win. Yeah, but they said that Kisame could potentially solo if he like absorbed chakra and like fused.
So Naruto never tried to fight the Raikage. How does the Raikage scale to him? Bro got slammed by base B. So actually, nah, the Naruto is being like matched in speed, if not outsped by version 1 Raikage. Right here. So he says, "You shall not pass." He jumps up in the air like this. Raikage is like literally Naruto says it himself. He can keep up with my Bijou mode, and then the Raikage knocks him back. And then later on, he says faster this time. Like, I'm going to try even harder. And then he says, "You're a fast old man, Raikage." Nine Tails Chakra mode is able to match the Raikage's speed. And currently, the Raikage isn't even in his version 2 cloak. This is just version 1. You can tell based off the size of the cloak and the spikes of his hair is like still slicked back. It's not spiked up. So the Raikage is currently not at full power. He's still in his version 1 state, and he's like Naruto himself and Tsunade, who's observing the fight. She's watching it happen. They're both saying like, damn, the Raikage is on Naruto's tier of speed, right? It happens later on as well. Where is it? Is it this chapter? Yeah, I think it is this chapter. Naruto tries one more time. Raikage matches him, knocks him back. Then he does it again. Raikage knocks him back again. That's 4 times now. So, yeah. Version 1 Raikage is relative to normal KCM1 Naruto. And so is Itachi. Basically, I'm sick. That doesn't mean I can punch a hole in a wall that's a live Itachi. What do you mean? Oh, anyways. But yeah, that's fucking Sasuke and Itachi would just scale to that.
No, do you want to talk about her? Like, is that
no, Mei is undoubtedly the weakest of the 5 Kages. You get this what I like to call perspective panel, or panels, in the Madara versus the 5 Kage fight, where it shows you how each of the 5 Kage are doing against the Susanoo clones. I think Inoki's like vaporizing some, Tsunade's body slamming some with punches, and then Raikage's actually body slamming some like with his wrestling moves. Gaara traps some in sand, and Mei like melts the arm of one and still gets punched. So I think it's being made pretty clear that Mei is the weakest of the 5 Kage there.
Yeah, definitely.
She probably is. I've never really contended that.
Then we see Mifune try to slash Sasuke. If base Sharingan Sasuke is blocking that, okay, Itachi is 100%. You know what I mean? If Danzo knows that Itachi's rolling up into the summit, you'll probably run away, just like he did when Sasuke was. So that'd have to be like a post-summit fight as well. I think the most interesting confrontation would be with Inoki. Now, in actual like canon or whatever, by this point, the Zetsu activated, started stealing all the Kage's chakra, and they would give it to Kisame and Itachi, and apparently if Inoki tries to particle style any of them, he would just save them if they couldn't react to it, apparently. So by that point in the summit, it's pretty much just kind of GG. Now, Itachi versus Inoki is like its own whole topic, same with Kisame and all that as well. But what do you think about it? Like, I don't even think it's necessary to answer, because by that time, once again, Obito gets there. And honestly, they might capture the Raikage as a hostage. They'd probably get Mei as a hostage, at least, like 100%. But what do you think would happen if they actually had to scrap Inoki? In the hypothetical,
I
they probably
think
wouldn't.
if they have to fight Inoki, like let's say Obito is less willing to help Itachi than he is to help Sasuke, because he kind of doesn't care if Itachi dies, because he's trying to manipulate Sasuke at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like a liability,
so,
you know?
If Obito is not going to enter, and we have Inoki versus Kisame and Itachi at this point, I think it goes sort of the same way it did in the other room with the Raikage. The reason being, Inoki is definitely part of the 5 Kage that were weaker than Hiruzen. Like it was just stated. It's stated implied just multiple times. Hiruzen was the strongest of that 5 Kage era. And I don't think Inoki's getting any stronger. If anything, Inoki's getting weaker because, you know, he's an old man. He probably peaked, maybe he like keeps up his physical peak or something.
Not necessarily. So, first of all, Dater looks at Onoki. He hasn't seen Onoki in years, right? Presumably, since he like defected from the Stone Village, and he's like, "Damn, this this dude Onoki is faster than he was when I defected from the Stone Village, right?" So it's like Onoki is getting stronger just based off that, and I don't agree with this Kabuto statement at all. Like I don't know why they mentioned Hiruzen. I wasn't really paying attention, but like you could just say that Hiruzen had a reputation for being the strongest of the Kage, like back when, like when's the last time Hiruzen fought? Like deadass. Like when's the last time he fought? Like before the Orochimaru shit, which Kabuto was not there to witness, by the way. Like when was the last time fucking Hiruzen fought? Like the Nine Tails. Like that's the last time he was confirmed on screen to fight, which is like more than a decade before Kabuto even makes this statement. And we know that people are like, if only Hiruzen was like a decade or two younger, he would be able to solo Orochimaru. We wouldn't even need Minato to help us, like Hiruzen solos or whatever. So definitely, I don't think this Kabuto statement holds enough merit for that. But that's not necessarily.
Like,
what's up?
that's his reputation base for sure. Like, if anything, Kabuto's just trying to cheer him up. He's like, "Oh, you know, they all say he was the strongest. It's okay. We did fine."
Literally, all of the Hiruzen statements are so ass. They're all just based off like reputation, legend, what people like consider him to be. They're never any like concrete statements like definitively saying that he is stronger than the other 5 Kage. And even if there was, this is probably the most concrete one right here. But even then, it's like, how would you assert that Kabuto is talking about like Hiruzen as soon as he died, and not like Hiruzen from like a decade or two prior? Which was like the last time he was confirmed to fight on screen.
Like that, similar to Guy, but Inoki should be weaker than Hiruzen. And then if you scale Itachi over Hiruzen the way everyone does, like through Orochimaru or through the signing, him just being generally stronger than the signing or seen at that level. I mean, you can pretty clear Itachi over Inoki scaling. And then with Kisame and his chakra draining abilities, it's a bit weird. How do we say like Kisame's Samehada would interact with particle style? Is it like, oh, particle style hits it, but somehow they're just absorbing it at the same time?
Like, is it like a Renegon absorption thing, or is the particle style like so weird that it would just melt the sword or something? Or how much chakra is in the particle style blast? We don't actually. There's like no way to quantify like this particle style blast has exactly like 19 tails worth of version 1 Killer Bee.
Hey, Blunt, you may not know this, but do you know if Samehada was ever shown to like absorb a jutsu? I don't think it has. I think it only takes people's chakra.
No, so I think it did. So it can absorb any nature. It just has a really big dislike for fire. Because if you go through that fight again with Itachi, it like absorbs the fire, or it like cancels out the fireball through the middle, right?
No,
and then it slaps Kisame.
I think it just cuts it in half, like deadass. I don't think it absorbs it. Now he just cuts it in half.
No, it did. It watch no, just because go down. I think it does. It does eat some because then it slaps Kisame, and it's like I didn't like that flavor.
Wait, no, he said, okay, that was hot. Didn't mean to burn. When will I learn? No, no, no. I don't think he absorbed that. I think like you could just assert at the same
He just
time,
swiped it then.
and then he like the fire burned Kisame. Not necessarily like the taste of it was weird. I don't think Kisame has ever been shown. Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ESD. He said it was. I do remember that. He said it was shown to absorb B's lightning. He like stripped the lightning off one of B's blades. I think it's 468.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So what I was gonna say though is I think it's pretty concrete that like the particle style should fuck up like Kisame and Samehada because it's not even just normal genjutsu. It's what is it called, the Gekkei Toda. So it involves like all the chakra natures, and it just like deletes anything lesser.
Yeah, maybe it's like, bro, this is so weird. Because I know what he's
Because
referring to. This is the panel right here. He's like, "What's this?
yeah, it turns it off.
How come B super vibration knife hasn't pierced that blade?" And then it literally explains that it's stealing like the lightning release chakra, for that. So it is kind of strange. Yo, Loco, do you know what the multiplier for KCM1 and KCM2 are? There's no definitive multiplier for it. Isn't Bijou Chakra Cloak also a jutsu? I wouldn't call it a jutsu. I just say that their chakra is spilling out and it creates an aura around them. But this is, damn. With this, you could possibly argue that it would absorb particle style, but like if
No,
if Onoki does the box, Kisame's cooked. Like it could only like absorb the beam. Like if Kisame cannot dodge the box, he's cooked, bro. He's like Kisame. I mean Samehada. There's like he's not. I don't think he's absorbing the entire fucking box. But it's weird. I never thought of that.
yeah, no. If he uses particle style, like if Itachi isn't fast enough to just genjutsu the Swagkage, and let's say it goes through and he uses like particle style, he's gonna be forced to yawn mirror it.
Yeah, that is true.
Like,
Otherwise,
there's
Kisame,
just
like you said, just gets cooked up.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough to think about. I don't know if Kisame would be able to absorb that. Maybe Super Shark Bomb. I think Super Shark Bomb probably could. That's probably yeah. I bet that could. Maybe not. If you really say Samehada wouldn't be able to do it, then Super Shark Bomb probably could. To be honest.
way just to say that, so it's kind of weird. It's implied Inoki doesn't necessarily have like massive amounts of chakra whenever he's mentioned, and it's more so like his willpower keeps bringing him back into fights and stuff. One thing I'll say specifically about Inoki is I think he has insane attack potency for a Naruto character, in the sense that I think his particle style hits harder than any of the Kage. You know what I mean? But one thing I think that Inoki has that's like weak for him is he's not very fast, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is he's clearly slower than the Raikage when they fight Madara. Like the Raikage is clearly like the fast one there. You know what I mean? And so we also see when he's like flying around, he's like flying around with Edo nerfed Datara as well.
Okay, let's not do this. Let's not do this, guys. Let's not do this, guys. So Datara. So of course, the Edo nerf is kind of unquantifiable. We just know that Datara wouldn't scale to his alive version. But it's like Datara is still, once again, he's like dodging Gaara's Sand, which blocked Amaterasu in a version 2 guillotine drop from the Raikage. So definitely Onoki would... It depends on how big of a nerf you think Edo Tensei is, but I'd say Onoki is still like lower end relative to version 2 Raikage, just based off this. Obviously, there's the nerf from the Edo Tensei, but if you grant the fact that Datara is still in the same league as he was when he was alive, then Onoki would just blatantly be relative to version 2, or at least in the same tier of speed as he is.
Not saying he's nerfed Datara level, but like that's really like one of the only other examples. And then other than that, you have like KCM Shadow Clone help him fight Mu, and then the Shadow Clone just kind of blows Mu away. So
I mean, there's also like, you know, if you want to contend Inoki being faster than Raikage, which, I mean, come on now. But Inoki literally gets on the Raikage's back to lighten him because he's like the fastest one there, so that they can move around the battlefield faster. So
Yeah, so I don't know. Even if he is faster than the Raikage, it's not by a significant degree from what we know of. And I don't really believe like the Shadow clones are going to be like 800 times Raikage's speed, and Inoki scales to that or something. It just doesn't seem implied with the 5 Kage battle.
I will say though, whenever Mu tries to shoot his particle release at Naruto, he does say my jutsu is faster than yours, which is implying that Mu's particle release, the beam, travels faster than KCM1 Naruto does, and then he has to shoot out his arm, like the claw thing. He shoots that out and then hits Mu, like straight in his chest or whatever. And you can see Mu dodging KCM1 Naruto right here, so that's still pretty impressive. And Onoki would just kind of scale to that. So, kind of depends on what you think.
Like at all, in my opinion. But yeah. So I mean, if Itachi scales like to Sasuke, he's above Sasuke, just pretty objectively. He might even be on the bridge of EMS Sasuke while alive, depending on how you interpret Edo or whatever. He should be like way fast enough to handle Inoki.
I think so.
Even if you think Inoki for whatever reason is just so durable, he can handle like a continent nuking meteor, like just no nerf. He just handled all the energy all himself, like it wasn't dispersed anywhere else. Tosuke Blade.
GG.
yeah. GG.
Poke.
Tsukuyomi.
Oh my god, Tosuke Blade GG.
Like he has so many win cons. Amaterasu, like there's just so many ways Itachi could win, as well as the fact that if Kisame is fast enough or has the ability to absorb particle style, which once again, absorbing particle style, that is its own little discussion. It's kind of quantifiable.
Yeah,
I'll leave that up to you guys. Do you think Kisame
I
can
doubt it.
absorb
I just think
style?
particle style takes priority.
Azorb. Can Kisame absorb particle style?
Oh, they forgot that B right there.
Can't forget that. But honestly, damn, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this one. I think Super Shark Bomb definitely can, but it's kind of weird still.
Because he could absorb just like Bijou cloaks on contact, which is pretty impressive. And Bijou cloaks are considered like godly amounts of chakra. Like Jinchuriki chakra is considered so massive, it's like incomparable, So, I do think it's probable, and Kisame is probably fast enough to scrap with Inoki if Deidara and Sasuke and the Raikage are. So that's just my take on it. I think that at the end of the day, though, they probably wouldn't fight Inoki. Obito would step in and be like, all right, we got a hostage. Like, you want to listen yet? Like, you're going to war. And then he and the boys would just, like, vanish into the ether, and that'd be it. But, yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say about the video. I don't know if you have any more to add to that.
The only thing I would say is, just for the comments, keep in mind, this is a 5 Kage that aren't as well coordinated as they were with Madara.
So, right. We're more so putting Itachi and Kisame in the same position that Sasuke went through in the manga. Like those set, it's almost like a gauntlet. It's like almost like the Kage like gauntlet. Like if you're playing like Storm, it's like, all right, mission 1, Raikage, Darui, and C battle, and then mission 2, Mei and Chojuro battle, or something like that. That kind of energy. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time.
Bro, Seth's outro was so dope back in the day. I'm not gonna lie, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, clean.
Alright. Now, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I didn't like that scenario. I did not like that scenario.
The gauntlet?
Yeah. Honestly, when you put it in that way, then yeah, probably Itachi would win. I kind of was under the assumption that they'd eventually talk about like him versus the 5 Kage all at once, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, how old is this vid? It's from like about a year and a half ago. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I feel about this vid. As you know what, Blunt? You willing to stay on for one more?
Sure.
We're doing it from
Hey everybody, how's it going?
I think
this is not at all what I expected.
Him and Kisame, they're running the gauntlet though. They're just like perfectly built to like go against any one of them and their guards.
Alright. You know what? Swagkage made one of these videos too. Let's react to his. Let's react to Swagkage.
You lucky night owls.
Bro, this is an older vid from Swag though. So this is from 4 years ago, man. 4 years ago. And I have seen this one before, but not for a long time. He actually does talk about Itachi versus the 5 Kage all at once. So I think that this is a more interesting scenario than the one that Seth was going over in his vid. but I would like to. I'd like to watch this one too. Like we watched Seth, and we haven't even been streaming for an hour yet. So yeah, no Gar love. That's what I'm saying. They didn't even mention Gar, bro. Blunt. They didn't even mention Gar in that video. What the hell?
Yeah, I think it's just the format that the previous video was in. It was just like, it's not intentionally, but it's the perfect scenario for Kisame and Itachi to just be able to run the gauntlet, because like they could. But if we go like Edo Itachi or a live Itachi versus the 5 Kage, that's obviously a big fucking task to ask of like either version.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is probably that, like what they did was like they kind of gave Itachi and Kisame the most favorable scenario for them. So it's like, let's talk about a little more interesting topic in the other direction, right? This is like Itachi versus the entire 5 Kage all at once. No Kisame, no nothing. No, they didn't even. I don't think they mentioned Danzo. They didn't mention Danzo or Gaara. I don't know. I didn't really like that video, to be honest. But yeah, let's watch this one.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So this is not at all what I expected my next video to be about. As a matter of fact, I was planning on talking about Shisui. But then, a little while ago, somebody tagged me in a Twitter conversation, and to keep a long story short, they ended up asking me if I thought Itachi could beat the 5 Kage, like, all at once, by himself. And my first instinct was to say, absolutely not, the 5 Kage would rip him to pieces. But then it sat with me for a few days, and I thought about it some more, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not giving Itachi as much credit as he deserves. Now, I want to make sure it's clear that when I said the 5 Kage would beat him, I was taking Itachi's sickness and near blindness into account. And in this video, I'm still going to do that, but I'm also going to be looking at a hypothetical prime Itachi that isn't sick and isn't on the verge of blindness, but is just as powerful as he was when he fought Sasuke. Now, the cool thing about this fight is that we can use Sasuke's fight with the 5 Kage as a point of reference. And now, Sasuke didn't fight all 5 of them at the same time, and he fought Danzo in place of Tsunade, but still, all things considered, he did pretty well, and we can sort of use this to form an idea of how well Itachi might do if he were to fight against them as well. Now, before I talk about anything else, I want to say that I think the most important thing to take away from Sasuke's fight with the Kage is that they were strong enough to force him to use his Mangekyo Sharingan so much that he ended up going blind. Now, even if you don't think Itachi needs his Susanoo to beat the 5 Kage, I think it's a pretty big stretch to say that he could beat them without his Sharingan altogether. And there are a lot of things that imply that this guy was on the verge of blindness during his fight with Sasuke. First of all, of course, there's the fact that Sasuke went blind pretty much immediately after he got his Mangekyo Sharingan. And I know this is because he used it like an absurd amount throughout the time period that he had it, but he only used it in like 2 fights. His fight against B and his fight against the 5 Kage, the same people that Itachi would be fighting in this hypothetical. Also, Sasuke had just gotten his Mangekyo Sharingan, whereas this Itachi has had his for a while. And in his fight with Sasuke, we literally see from his perspective that his vision is really blurry at this point in his life. It's clear that Itachi has used his Mangekyo Sharingan.
Let's be real, Itachi ain't beating all 5 Kage at once. Hey man, you're spitting, bro. What can I say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, even as a big Itachi guy, if it's a live Itachi, there's no shot. Like, he can make, even if you were to highball it, like, I think he would like high diff it, but he's not beating all 5, not with the sickness, and not if it's the War Art Kage that are like good like sync and they can work together. It's not happening.
Like, if we're talking about like Onoki Will of Stone amping version 2 Raikage, oh my god, bro, Itachi, I just don't think he has any scaling to that. He only scales to like version 2. He wouldn't scale to like version 2 amped.
Like, even as a big Itachi lover, if it's Edo versus a 5 War Art Kage, like, I think he, like, even at the like best case scenario, it's like extreme high diff for him to be able to win. Like, it's just more logical to argue the 5 Kage seal him.
Yeah, NWK Sasori ain't on shit, bro. Sasori's just kind of ass. He's not beating heavy Sasuke. Come on now.
A fair bit. And in a fight against the 5 Kage all at the same time, I don't think that they would last him for that much longer. Something I'd like to point out is that when Sasuke went blind, it was pretty shortly after his Susanoo had fully evolved. And of course, as we see in Itachi's fight with Sasuke, Itachi's Susanoo is fully evolved by the time this fight happens. So let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, since I'm going to talk about an Itachi that doesn't have this problem later in the video, that we can all agree that Itachi's Mangekyo isn't gonna last him for very long in this fight. So once his blindness like fully sets in, he's not gonna have his Susanoo, and he's not gonna have either Amaterasu or Tsukuyomi. It's really hard for me to say that Itachi has any chance against the 5 Kage under these circumstances. They were almost able to seal Madara, and okay, I know it's like sort of a joke at this point that I bring up Madara in like every versus battle, even the ones he doesn't participate in. But can we all agree that he's at least a little bit relevant in this fight, since we're talking about the 5 Kage, and like the only time we ever see all of them fight as a group is against Madara? Anyway, so the 5 Kage were almost able to seal Madara, right? The only reason they couldn't is because he whipped out his perfect Susanoo, and there was really nothing they could do about that. But even with all of his, like, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan Rinnegan, Hashirama Cell Wood-style, Wood-clone nonsense, even with multiple full-body Susanoos, all of this other crazy stuff that they had to deal with, the 5 Kage were able to nearly beat Madara. You could maybe argue that he was holding back, but I don't think any amount of holding back is going to make up for the difference between Madara's arsenal of Wood Release, all the Rinnegan powers, Susanoo Wood Clones, all this crazy stuff, versus Itachi's, like, Genjutsu and Fireball Jutsu once his Sharingan has run out, right? So again, seeing as the 5 Kage beat a significantly more powerful enemy, at least without taking his perfect Susanoo into account, I don't think there's any way to argue that Itachi stands a chance here. Now, moving forward, I'm gonna do Itachi a favor and assume he doesn't have to worry about any of these things. No near blindness, no sickness, none of that. He's completely healthy. And if we pit Itachi up against the 5 Kage like this, that does actually affect things substantially. Now, since I didn't really do this before, let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of Itachi's capabilities. They matter a whole lot more in this round than they did in the last one, since this one isn't a one-sided stomp. And I want to start by talking about Itachi's speed. A lot of people have spread the idea that Itachi is significantly faster than the Raikage, and I was guilty of doing this in the past as well. This is because he was able to briefly keep pace with QB Chakra Mode Naruto when the two of them fought during the war. And of course, Naruto displayed pretty definitively that he was faster than A was. Now, I think this exchange between Naruto and Itachi has been blown way out of proportion. First of all, the two of them are only seen trading blows for about 1 page, and there's nothing on this page to suggest that...
Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. I wouldn't say that Itachi is massively faster than version 2. I don't think that's the case, but he'd definitely be, like, within the same tier of speed, just based off several scaling methods that I mentioned when we were reacting to Seth's video. So definitely, like, if like, Itachi would scale to, like, version 2 Raikage in speed.
Naruto is trying his hardest. As a matter of fact, the opposite is actually implied. The two of them spend the entire page talking, and it's not just regular fight banter. Naruto is asking Itachi questions that he considers the answers to very important, stuff about the Uchiha clan massacre, and by extension, stuff about Sasuke. This would have been Naruto's only opportunity to ask Itachi if Obito was telling the truth about why the Uchiha clan was wiped out. So I think it's totally fair to assume that Naruto's mind was a bit preoccupied on this page, and that affected his performance. Now, this would be one thing if Naruto had just run circles around the Raikage, but that's not what happened at all. It's not like he outsped him so extremely that even being able to touch Naruto is a sign that somebody is as fast or faster than A was. Naruto got hit a lot in this fight, and he even says verbatim that A can keep up with Biju mode. It took Naruto's complete focus just for him to avoid one of the Raikage's attacks, and him dodging this one single attack is treated as like a super triumphant moment. Plus, he's still at a negative...
Yeah, that is facts. That is facts. I think he's saying, like, pretty good stuff. I think he's just coming to the wrong conclusion. Like, it's... I showed these panels earlier, but oh fuck, this is way too...
Yo, so you gotta go back to that Itachi fight, because you didn't show them where he perception blitzed V, bro. Like, he just genjutsu'd him before he knew what was going on.
Was it the shuriken? Yeah, it was when he threw the shurikens out, I think.
Yeah, so it's a little past. Watch, you'll get there. You're about to?
Okay.
I think it's here. Yeah.
Don't look in my eyes, wake up.
Yeah, so he had already gotten him. See? He had already gotten him.
Yeah.
And then the same combo that he used on MS Sasuke and he tagged MS Sasuke with, Itachi dodged all of it.
Yeah.
The like multiple blade like stand style.
That is facts. That's facts. I don't even remember this. I don't remember this little panel right here. He's using like the same, like exactly what you said against Sasuke. But like Itachi's like...
He just outspent all. Itachi just dodged it all.
Like in these little like red things right here, that's like action marker. That's indicates that Itachi is making contact with B. He's not just like running away. They're like actually swapping hands here. And then Itachi just like dashes away from him while B is still like fucking... While B is still swinging and shit, Itachi just dashes away.
Yeah.
And B is still fucking swinging, bro.
That's what I'm saying. If you go back, he perception blitzed him into genjutsu, and then he just dodged all his like fastest like combos. Watch right there. Just scroll a little bit up.
Oh, right there?
Yeah, see, so like watch. B thinks he grabs him, and then when he's quote unquote grabbing him, he's been already had. He told him, "Don't look at my eyes." And he's like, "Oh, he already got me."
The fuck, man. That's so funny.
record for attacks dodged versus attacks he was hit by. And I'm not saying that the Raikage is like faster than Naruto or anything because of all of this, because that's obviously not what Kishimoto was trying to convey when he had Naruto dodge that attack at the end there. But what I am saying is that there's a lot more information present that implies the two of them are similar in speed than information that implies that Naruto is way faster than the Raikage is. Now, all that said, if you were able to prove that Itachi and Naruto were about the same speed, then you could reliably claim that he's faster than the Raikage by at least a little bit. And I've seen some people attempt to do this by claiming that since Itachi and Sasuke should have been about the same speed, and Sasuke and Naruto should have been about the same speed, then that would therefore mean Itachi is about as fast as Naruto is. The thing is, for this to be the case, we have to agree on something that just isn't true, and that's that Sasuke is as fast as KCM Naruto. For a while, I wasn't sure why people thought this, but after enough digging through forums, I think I found the answer, and the most common reason is that Sasuke claimed he was going to match his chakra level to Naruto's when they made the Inferno-style Rasen Shuriken that they teleported into Obito.
Okay. I don't know if the arguments were present back then, but if not, then that is the biggest like fucking straw man I've ever seen. Because I know what he's about to say next. Let me let him finish what he's about to say next. I hit the chapter right on, by the way. This is the exact chapter I need, but
I guess from this, people extrapolated that Sasuke matches his power, his speed, all of his physical attributes to Naruto, and that's just wrong. First of all, this was just a temporary thing, and it required Sasuke to use his Sharingan to do it. And second of all, I thought it was pretty clear that he meant he was doing this strictly for the purpose of combining his jutsu with Naruto's. They just needed to make sure that the jutsu wasn't made up of too much of one half. It needed to be 50% Wind style and 50% Inferno style. A few chapters before this, when they do the whole Inferno style Rasen Shuriken thing for the first time, Tobirama explains that this is pretty much exactly what they meant, and that it's something that any two-man squad can do, but often struggles to do. There would be no reason to compliment them for just being at the same level of strength, so I think it's absolutely 100% true that they were just trying to make sure one half of the combination didn't outweigh the other half, not that they were trying to match their power levels.
Alright. So let's look at this. Let me go back a chapter, actually. So, right here is like the biggest indication. This is when Naruto initially goes into MKCM. So this isn't just MKCM1, this is Mastered KCM. So Sakura is in trouble here. She's being a dumbass. And there are two Jubi clones. You can see there are two of them. There's one right here up in the front, and then there's one to the right of it that's approaching, right? So Sasuke actually you can say that they're striking at the same time here, but you can imply that Sasuke actually landed first because he pushed the Jubi monster back further than Naruto did. Like, it was in front right here, and now he pushed it back behind Naruto. Even though it's not like an explosive blast. It's more like a, what is it? Is it area of effect? Is that the term for it, Blunt? You know, it's like, it's not like a it's not like a big boom like Inferno style or Inton is not like a boom or whatever. It's just like lighting somebody on fire, and he still managed to strike first and push the Jubi monster back further than Naruto did. So there's not just this. It's also I think it's after.
Yeah, that was kind of like crowd control and like AoE at the same time, because like he didn't just light him on fire, he pushed him too. Because it was like an arrow version of the Kagetsuchi.
Yeah. Also, right here, Sasuke is reacting before Naruto is. He's wrapping his Susanoo around him. And I don't think he kind of reacts before Minato does right here, because like Minato isn't really doing anything, and then Sasuke's able to wrap his entire Susanoo around Naruto before Minato can like grab onto this orb, right? So at the very least, he's like outspeeding Naruto here, and this is like, just hey, what's up, Satori? So it's like, nah, bro, nah. It's like EMS Sasuke is definitely relative to MKCM Naruto, and then he gets strong enough to be actually faster than KCM2 Naruto, more relative to like KCM2 Sage Naruto.
Now, if you're still not convinced, this hypothesis kind of debunks itself over the course of the next few chapters. If Naruto and Sasuke had equal chakra levels or whatever, Sasuke wouldn't be saying things like, Naruto's got this much chakra, or this is Naruto now with perfect control over this much chakra.
Alright, so let's see what he says here. To be fair to Sasuke, what he says on this page is in response to seeing KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto for the first time. I was just about to point that out, but I'm glad he addressed it. his reaction on the last page I showed, page 15 of the same chapter, came in response to a feed from regular KCM2 Naruto. At the same time, all we need to do right now is prove that Sasuke is relative to MKCM Naruto, because that would mean that Itachi would scale there, presumably. So, we kind of just did that. Like, Naruto is not reacting as fast as Sasuke is here. They're shown to kind of strike at similar speeds. You know, it's just kind of blatantly shown that EMS Sasuke is superior to Naruto is at this point in time. So the KCM2 stuff doesn't really matter.
And if you don't want to take Sasuke's word for it, Hashirama himself compared Naruto.
More reading, fuck. Hashirama says this in response to the same feat Sasuke commented on page 2 of chapter 645. The only thing about this statement is that it's contestable, is that Hashirama corrects himself by saying that Naruto also mixed in some of the Nine Tails chakra, but this doesn't really change anything since Naruto is sharing his chakra pool with Karma at this point. And we're comparing Sasuke to KCM Naruto anyway. So, once again, this is just KCM2 Naruto. Like, Sasuke and Hashirama make no such statements about MKCM Naruto or KCM1 or KCM 1.5, whatever you want to call it. So, Sasuke is definitely still relative to MKCM Naruto.
Naruto's chakra reserves to his own, and there's just no world in which Sasuke's chakra is even somewhat close to being worth talking about in the same sentence as Hashirama's. He just doesn't have that much, especially if we're equating chakra levels to speed and power. If you want a direct speed comparison, though, Sasuke wasn't able to hit Madara at all after he came back to life and
Whoa, what the fuck, man? What?
stole Hashirama's Sage Mode, but the first time Naruto attempts to attack him, he manages to blitz him.
Whoa, so... Bro, he said blunt. Am I tweaking, or did he just say Sasuke never touched Madara once? Am I tweaking?
No, yeah, he's capping. That's cap.
Am I tweaking? Because it looks a lot like Sasuke fucking touched Madara. He put his hands on him, bro. Ain't that a bitch, bro? That's an absolutely insane take to have, because like, you literally pulled the panels, and on the page immediately after this, Sasuke is stabbing Madara. So it's like, in order to pull these panels, you kind of have to see this shit. You kind of have to see this. So definitely, of course, if I'm being honest, Itachi would not scale to this version of Sasuke. By no means would Itachi scale here. Sasuke did get stronger, so it's not even really relevant to the video talking about, but still, like, bro, that's insane to say that, bro. Like, literally right after this, he shows the panel of Sasuke just about to hit him. So it's crazy, bro.
Why did you lie, Swagkage?
If you want a direct speed comparison, though, Sasuke wasn't able to hit Madara at all after he came back to life and stole Hashirama's Sage Mode, but the first time Naruto attempts to attack him, he manages to blitz him. There's also another, admittedly much easier method of addressing this, and that is...
Naruto is in base KCM2, no Sage Mode, while Naruto did blindside Madara here. Sasuke later tries and fails to do the same thing. Bro, that is one hell of a false equivalence, bro. Bro, this isn't even the same thing. Hold on. So, look. I guess he didn't... Oh, wait. Yeah, this is chapter 661, according to Swag. Let's take a look at that. I'm glad he provided the chapter numbers. Makes it easier. This isn't 661. The fuck? Bruh. It was the wrong chapter.
Damn, that puts Swagkage's light count up to 2.
Bro.
He's citing the wrong chapters too, dude.
What do you think about this, Blunt? I actually never knew about this. So this is...
I'll be putting colors on you shortly.
So look. This is blind Sage Madara with Hashirama cells. And then Naruto comes in and says, I won't let you. Like if you think about it, Madara shouldn't be able to be off guarded here because he has Sage Mode. Like, actually, You know what? There is a precedent for people being off guarded while still in Sage mode. There's like Jiraiya. It happens to Jiraiya. I believe it happens to Naruto once.
Well, I can tell you why that probably happened because of the tensions on the Biju. So like he's being like blitzed off guard. Well, not blitzed off guard, but he's being off guarded because think about it. His focus right now is like on like controlling the Biju.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never. Oh, bro, I'm so glad you said that. It seems like Madara just let Sasuke touch him though. He just stood there and took the sword directly. Nah, I can kind of disprove that. So the main reason why, like, first of all, there's no reason for him to want to get stabbed, and it like, actually, yeah. Honestly, I don't even like why would Madara want to get stabbed? Like, why would he try to get stabbed through the arm on purpose? If he doesn't have to, why would he? It's like, why would he want to get stabbed through the arm? I don't even have to really go any further than that. But I never knew about this. This is the first time I'm seeing this. But yeah, you could just say like this. He pulled the fucking Jiraiya, and then he wasn't able to send something out of his attention or focal point or whatever. Naruto is just stronger than Madara here. Also, he did say that Sasuke failed to hit Madara, but I'm assuming he's referring to when Madara used Limbo on him, and that is just like what the fuck is what is Sasuke supposed to do? Look, like Sasuke just jumps down off his bird, and he's coming down towards Madara, and then he just hits him with Limbo and then stabs him. Like, what is Sasuke supposed to do here when he's being held in place by an invisible fucking clone of Madara? Like, what does he do here? And of course, Madara with the Renegon is stronger than he was before. The Renegon is like a blatant amp to your stats, just due to the potent chakra.
Yeah, that was a bad comparison. I just noticed how bad of a comparison that was because that was blind Madara, the whole like, oh, he got hit by KCM2 Naruto when he was like focused on the Biju, to like a Rinnegan Madara now.
Yeah, this is like not even applicable. It's like we I guess you can see we say I guess you can say we see both Madara and I mean Naruto and Sasuke tag Madara, but they're saying maybe to flex his new powers. So I can disprove that he was supposed to not get tagged, huh? Madara doesn't care about talking to Sasuke. He does not care about talking to Sasuke because at the very beginning of this chapter, Sasuke lights him on fire with Amaterasu, and then Sasuke says, relics of the past should bud out. And then Madara is like, you're a brat that doesn't even come close to my level. You stole my line, foolish child. He's like, get the fuck away from me, bro. You're just like a little kid. Like, why are you trying to fuck with me? Like, I don't care about you, Sasuke. He does not care about Sasuke here. So, what he does is before then he just doesn't care about Sasuke until he gets stabbed through the arm, and then he realizes, you can see the exclamation point, he realizes that he has a Choku Tomoe straight Mangekyo, and he says, no wonder you have good moves. So he had no interest in talking to Sasuke or flexing his powers to him before he realized that he had good eyes or good moves or whatever, because beforehand he's like telling him he's like, bro, who the fuck are you? You're a little kid type shit. So it's like, why does Madara does not care until after he gets stabbed through the arm, and it's blatantly shown with this panel right here. Swagkage did not cook with this one. Sasuke made a stronger blind Madara run away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, I did not know. I'm still surprised about that KCM to Naruto feat of him kind of hitting Madara. But of course, you can just argue that it's like Jiraiya. He wasn't paying attention even though he's in Sage mode. And he was wounded here, you know. But it's still kind of strange. Heavy Sasuke greater than blind Sage Madara. Facts.
This by showing that B, who is slower, albeit not by much, than the Raikage, didn't have any trouble avoiding every attack Itachi threw at him. Like, Itachi even trapped B in
Whoa, Blunt. Listen to this, Blunt.
much easier method of addressing this. And that is by showing that B, who is slower, albeit not by much, than the Raikage, didn't have any trouble avoiding every attack Itachi threw at him. Like, Itachi even trapped B in a Genjutsu, and almost immediately lobbed a whole bunch of shuriken at him. And B not only broke out of the Genjutsu, but still had enough time to take out all 8 of his swords and deflect all of the shuriken before they could hit him. Now granted, the speed at which Itachi throws his shuriken isn't the same thing as the speed at which he can move his arms and legs, of course, but B...
So he's saying that, like, B was, like, dodging all of Itachi's attacks, bro. It's more like the other...
Yeah, no, he's trying to downplay it. Exactly, it's the opposite. Itachi dodged, like, all of B's fastest things and put him under Genjutsu, and he didn't realize it.
But could you say, since he didn't care, he wasn't on guard? So you're saying that since Madara... What, like, you're trying to say Madara was off guard? Like, he should not be off guard. Like, maybe when Sasuke originally runs up, but even then when Sasuke originally runs up, he's dodging all of his attacks, and Sasuke is talking directly to him. He says, "This gives us a chance to kill you for good and send you back to the afterlife." So, like, he's dodging his attacks right here, but then he's not able to dodge fast enough and then ends up getting stabbed through the arm. So... He's not... He was maybe off guard here, but beforehand, or I mean afterwards, he's not off guard because you can, like, clearly see him, like, dodging attacks. He's trying to get away from Sasuke, and then he can't dodge for too long, and then he just gets stabbed through the arm, right? And then he realizes that, oh shit, he's actually more impressive than I thought he was.
He also manages to grab Itachi with one of his tentacles and easily avoids an attack from behind. So you can take from this what you want. It does...
Nah, Blind Madara just really isn't impressive. Nah, he's definitely stronger than his Edo Tensei and Prime EMS variants, at least physically. So he's physically stronger, faster, more durable, etc. Because I pulled the scans in my last live stream, but both Sage Mode and Hashirama cells are stated to be like a pretty big amp to all your physical stats. So obviously Prime EMS Madara doesn't have either of those things, and he's not nerfed by the Edo, like Revive Madara isn't nerfed by the Edo Tensei anymore, so he should just be physically stronger and faster than his Prime EMS variant. And now that he has Sage Mode, and of course no longer has an Edo nerf, he should be stronger than his Edo Tensei version as well. You can say that they might still beat him because obviously Edo Tensei Madara has access to all kinds of hacks abilities and stuff like that with the Renegon, but he, like, Blind Madara, even, like, just due to Sage Mode and Hashirama cells, is physically more impressive than the other forms of Madara.
Doesn't necessarily imply that B is as fast as or faster than Itachi, but I think it's pretty good evidence to support the idea that Itachi hasn't completely eclipsed the Raikage in terms of speed. Now, I keep seeing this thing. It's like this blog post on a power scaling wiki or something that tries to explain through the use of pixel measurements on the pages in the manga and calculus or whatever why Naruto is 73 times faster than the Raikage. And even if this wasn't just a hyper-literal misinterpretation of the
yeah, this is the whole, like,
made by the author of the manga, which is exactly
trying to
what it is,
quantify
even if it wasn't that wouldn't change the fact that this is a massive outlier and completely contradicts everything else that happened up to this point in the fight. Personally, I feel like Itachi is, at best, just below the Raikage in terms of speed, and I'm more comfortable saying that he's probably substantially slower than the Raikage. Not like a tortoise in the hair difference or anything, but based on the fact that B didn't have any trouble reacting to him and he was blitzed multiple times by Sage Kabuto, I think it's totally reasonable to say that the Raikage is absolutely
Hold on, where does he get this, like, B didn't have any trouble reacting to him when this is the opposite, bro?
Yeah, I don't know how, like, that's just kind of weird.
Like, what gave you that impression?
That's just blatantly not how it happens in the chapter.
It's only by a little bit. Now, I think this difference is going to be made even more noticeable thanks to teamwork between the Raikage and the Tsuchikage. We're shown during the Kage's fight with Madara that Inoki can drastically increase a person's speed by making them lighter, and increase their strength by a similar amount by making them heavier, which brings me to my next point, that being Itachi's durability. So depending on which of the Kage we're talking about, this may or may not be relevant at all. Gaara is pretty much able to completely bypass Itachi's...
Wait, so that Naruto claim saying Madara was off guard wouldn't be valid, right, since he turned around on Sasuke? Yeah, all that would mean is that, like, both Naruto and Sasuke just scale above blind Sage Madara, but I never knew that Naruto had that feat against him. You could interpret it either way.
physical durability because he can just seal him underneath a lot of sand. And as long as we're not factoring in the Yata mirror, Onoki can just dismantle Itachi's body at like a molecular level. Mei can also use acid that's been shown to be capable of melting through a person's Susanoo, so chances are it would probably do a lot of damage to Itachi's skin. So that means the only two characters who I'm going to be comparing the attack power of to Itachi's durability are Tsunade and the Raikage, who are unfortunately for Itachi two of the hardest hitting characters in the whole series. And I feel like especially if they get amped by Onoki, a couple good hits from them would probably be enough to kill him. Fortunately for Itachi, he has an indestructible shield, and the 5 Kage can't really do anything about the Yata mirror. On the other hand, the Yata mirror is unidirectional, like it doesn't wrap all the way around his Susanoo. So if the Kage are able to mount an assault from the sides or from behind, they can at least attempt to break through his Susanoo, but that's easier said than done because the Susanoo's pretty big, so I'd imagine that circling around it wouldn't be easy. And they also have the Totsuka blade, which can one-shot any of them to worry about. Depending on where they fight, though, Gaara might be able to ignore the Yata mirror. As we saw when Madara was first reanimated, Gaara was able to use the sand at his feet to straight up rip him out of his Susanoo, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to do the same thing to Itachi. Now, even if they...
Bro, that's such a valid, like, win con. Like, Gaara sets them up by pulling out Itachi out of his Susanoo, and then the Raikage just comes in and slams his shit. Like, he puts him in some, like, type of WWE wrestling hold and just body slams him, bro. That'd be so crazy.
They fight somewhere without a bunch of sand, like a forest or something, Gaara should still be able to use Sand Tsunami or whatever to introduce a bunch of sand to the environment. If they fight somewhere indoors, like the 5 Kage Summit venue or something, though, then this won't be an option. And under these circumstances, without a method of bypassing the Yata mirror, things will be significantly more difficult for the 5 Kage. But if Gaara...
Bro was on a perk when he made this.
is able to yoink Itachi out from his Susanoo, then I think the Raikage and Tsunade are going to be able to do a lot of damage to him. Like, during his fight with Sasuke, he was noticeably injured by 2 shurikens stabbing him in the leg. And I know some people are going to be like, but Swag, Itachi was just holding back. But it doesn't make sense that he'd be able to, like, decrease the durability of his skin. Now, even if you do think Itachi made his skin softer so that the shuriken could penetrate him, that doesn't explain why he was worried when he realized that the shuriken were rigged. And I know some people are going to say, but it was just an act. He needed to convince Sasuke that he was trying his hardest. And, I mean, that would be a good argument if he had actually said that he was surprised out loud and not thought it in his head where Sasuke couldn't hear him. And even then, when he's reanimated, during his fight with Bee and Naruto, he still uses shuriken. Granted, they're flaming shuriken, but it's still obviously something that Itachi considers at least a minor threat to a person's safety, so I imagine that a full power punch or kick from the Raikage or Tsunade, especially if they're amped up by Onoki, I mean, Itachi's just not walking away from an attack like that completely unscathed. It's not gonna happen. I don't think he'd die in like one hit or whatever, but a handful of these attacks should be more than enough to get the job done, at least assuming Itachi isn't being protected by his Susanoo. I know some people are bound to disagree with me, but Tsunade's strength is no joke, and neither is the Raikage's. For example, Bee was really scared when he saw A power up to max against Naruto, and even implied that he thought the Raikage's next attack was gonna one-shot him. Now, I'm not saying that A could kill Casey and Naruto with one punch. Bee was probably wrong, and saying otherwise would be a little ridiculous. But for Bee to even consider this a possibility, the punch would have to be strong enough to at least injure Naruto. I think a really good way to drive my point home is by bringing up Sasuke's fight with the 5 Kage again, specifically his fight with the Raikage. Now, I know Itachi in his prime should be quite a bit stronger than Sasuke.
Nah, Swag definitely be on Adderall behavior for real.
But I don't think there's any reason to assume that there's some massive gulf between them as far as durability is concerned. Susanoo aside, what the two of them can withstand should be pretty similar. And Sasuke couldn't just stand there and take what the Raikage was dishing out. He had to constantly, throughout the whole fight, protect himself with his Susanoo ribcage. Furthermore, Sasuke didn't seem too confident in the ribcage's ability to protect him, because right after he brings it out, like as in the first time the Raikage tries to attack him after the Liger Bomb, Sasuke coats the ribcage in Amaterasu using Kakatsuchi as an added layer of protection. And it's not like Sasuke was just being paranoid or something. This was definitely a good idea, because right after he does this, A tears through the ribcage without any trouble. Now, Tsunade's strength kind of speaks for itself. She hits even harder than the Raikage does, and some of her feats are pretty ridiculous. She punches this gigantic hole in Madara. I've seen some people who have gotten confused and think that this was just a wood clone, but at least as far as I'm aware, Madara substituted his real self out for a wood clone after Tsunade hit him. So this...
Nah, that was a wood clone. He has, like, no opportunity to substitute himself out, if I remember correctly. I think it's... Fuck, what chapter is this? I don't know what chapter this is exactly. Maybe it's back here. Oh shit! This is the chapter. Yeah, this is it. So she punches a hole in him, and then like immediately after he has the hole punched in him, he gets sealed away. And then you kind of see like Madara was hiding in the roots of the tree the entire time, so it's kind of like, nah, that wasn't the real Madara. That was like a wood clone that she punched.
was the real Madara, and Tsunade left a massive hole in his chest with a single punch. So no matter how you want to interpret this, I think it's a pretty clear sign that one of Tsunade's attacks is going to do at least borderline lethal damage to Itachi. I'm sure some people are going to be like, well, Swag, you see, Madara was weaker because he was Edo Tensei, so durability probably wasn't all that impressive, but like Edo Tensei, nerfed or not, he's still Madara, and I really hope that there's nobody out there that thinks that even in his prime, Itachi is more of a physical tank than Madara. But still, if Tsunade, like, deleting Madara's torso with a single punch isn't impressive enough for you, she also cracked through his Susanoo's ribcage with one punch, and then shattered it completely with a follow-up kick. Now, to be fair, when Tsunade actually broke through the Susanoo, she did have help from Inoki and the Raikage. But you could argue that all they did was stop Madara from advancing further back so that Tsunade could catch up to him, because it's not like the entire ribcage broke apart, only the side that Tsunade attacked did. I should also add that Madara's ribcage completely shrugged off a Super Oda Rasengan. And finally, Tsunade also topples one of Madara's full-body Susanoo wood clones with a single punch, which is pretty similar to the way that the same level of Madara's Susanoo reacted to having a Hirudora shot at it by 7th Gate Guy. And Tsunade did all of this without ever having her strength increased by Inoki. Now, the thing is, Itachi doesn't really have any durability feats that don't involve his Susanoo. As a matter of fact, it's shown pretty consistently that it's possible to damage him with baseline attacks, like Kabuto's Chakra Scalpel, or even, again, Sasuke's Rigged Shuriken. I've seen some pretty crazy takes about the amount of damage Itachi can withstand on forums and stuff, but the one that's definitely the most absurd is the idea that Itachi's durability is like 10 Tails level or something, because he should be relative to Naruto, who tanked the Jubi Cataclysm attack. So first of all, Itachi...
why is he relative to Naruto? What the hell? Why is he relative to Naruto? Who says that?
Oh my god.
Bro, not a single person has ever said that. What the hell?
He just isn't as strong or as durable as Naruto is. Nothing in the series implies that. Also, one panel after we see Naruto standing in the fallout of the explosion, we're shown that he was powered up by all of the Biju when he tanked it. Now, even setting all of that aside, there are two ways you can look at this. The first is that the Jubi Cataclysm wasn't even that devastating, because everyone who was there when it happened survived it thanks only to a little Biju Chakra Cloak Naruto created for all of them. Now, maybe you could argue that the only reason everybody survived despite their relatively lackluster protection is because they were much further from the center of the explosion than Naruto was. In that case, the second way you can look at this is even if it was a super powerful attack and surviving it was a really big deal, Madara, who was closer to but not quite in the center of the explosion, summoned his Susanoo to protect himself. And his Susanoo wasn't already active when the explosion happened or whatever. It's not like he just happened to be in it and didn't feel like leaving. You clearly see him moments before this summon his Susanoo in order to defend himself. So even if Itachi was comparable to KCM Naruto in terms of power and durability, which again he isn't, he still wouldn't be able to withstand something like this without his Susanoo. I feel like I spent too long addressing that, but I really don't want to get comments about stuff like this. Now let's move on to the aspect of Itachi's durability that's actually relevant, that being the durability
Weird
of his
rant.
Susanoo, setting aside the Yamamiro,
Yeah.
of course. How tough it is to crack through Itachi's Susanoo depends on how we interpret a few things. Personally, I think he blocked Kirin with the Yamamiro, but I know not everybody believes this, and there's nothing in the series that definitively proves it happened one way or the other. Some people think it doesn't even matter because Itachi was holding back, near death, and plagued by sickness, and all three of these things could have made Itachi's Susanoo substantially weaker than it would have been if they weren't factors. All of these interpretations say drastically different things about the durability of this Susanoo, because even though it kept Kirin from killing him, he still sustained a few injuries from it, and his cloak was also vaporized. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to assume that its durability lies somewhere in between that of Sasuke's Susanoo during the 5-Kage Summit and Madara's Susanoo. Probably right in the middle of both of them. So in that case, cracking through his Susanoo wouldn't be easy for the 5-Kage, but I don't think it would be impossible either. Now, if all
Nah, saying Sasuke, or I mean, like, there are varying levels of durability to a ribcage Susanoo is kind of weird. I always assumed that they were about, like, the same. They protect their user all the same. I'm trying to find that one fucking...
I think it is safe to say, though, that Kirin destroyed the Susanoo, and there wasn't any Yadamir usage, at least to Kirin. Because otherwise it would have just reflected it back up.
I'd argue that it knocked it knocked Itachi out. Like he was on the ground. Like I'd say that he actually got, like, there was enough force behind that shit to actually put him on his ass for like a minute or two. But that's my interpretation, because he was like face down, ass up. Like there's no reason for him to be doing that unless he like actually got hit hard by that. So fucking hell, where is it? Here it is. So like this is version 2 amped A. So he's like breaking through Madara's humanoid Susanoo, like very blatantly. So maybe not the armored Susanoo, but definitely the humanoid is like Itachi is, that shit is getting broke through. And even if he camps out in the armored Susanoo with the Yotamir, Gaara can still grab him and throw him out of it. So even then, it's like that's not even like a sustainable win con for Itachi.
5 of them were able to attack it at the same time, that would be one thing. But at least one of them is going to have to give Itachi something to block with the Yotamir. This means that at best, 4 of them will be able to attack the Susanoo at the same time, and really the only 2 with the physical attack power necessary to break through it are Tsunade and the Raikage. And I feel like Itachi is going to go out of his
What about fucking Onoki with particle style when he deletes the Susanoo?
Way to use the Yotamir to protect his Susanoo from the attacks of these 2 specifically more than anyone else. Now, the good news for the Kage is they have 1, possibly even 2 get-out-of-jail-free cards versus Itachi Susanoo. The first is something I've already talked about, and that is Gaara's Sand. If they're anywhere other than indoors, Gaara's going to be able to yoink Itachi out of the Susanoo with his Sand. Now, if they're in a situation where this isn't possible, it is possible that Onoki might be able to just eat through the Susanoo with his
Facts.
Some of you might be thinking that I'm just giving Onoki a lot more credit than he deserves. And I get that, but this is actually based on something that happens in the manga. It's not as concrete as I'd like it to be, but it does have a pretty clear implication. So basically what happens is Tsunade rips off one of the Susanoo's limbs and tries to cut through Madara with it. Then Madara says, well, sorry, but you can't kill me with my own jutsu. Now it's important to recognize that he says this while clad in his Susanoo ribcage. Onoki then immediately butts in and says, my jutsu can kill you. Then he fires a particle-style beam at Madara, and everybody's like, oh man, you got him, you killed him, good job. And Madara doesn't even bother trying to block it with his Susanoo. He actually dispels his Susanoo and goes out of his way to absorb the Jinton jutsu with the Rinnegan. Also, right after this, Madara treats Onoki like an idiot, not for trying to use Jinton against somebody who can protect themselves with a Susanoo, but instead for forgetting that the Rinnegan can absorb ninjutsu. Also, later in the fight, Onoki just, like, deletes all of Madara's Susanoo-clad wood clones with a single particle-style jutsu. And even though we don't see the real Madara inside of his Susanoo before this, he says right afterwards that his Susanoo kept him from absorbing the particle-style jutsu properly, which, of course, implies that the particle-style managed to get through his Susanoo, and that means it should be able to do the same thing to Itachi's. So unless I'm wrong, and Onoki's particle-style doesn't work this way, and unless they're in a situation where Gaara can't pull Itachi out of the Susanoo with his sand, the Kage have multiple ways around it, and that's without even mentioning the possibility that Mei might be able to melt it with her vapor style. So even if it's so durable that the 5 Kage aren't able to break it through physical means, they still have a handful of ways of pretty much completely bypassing it available to them. So since the 5 Kage's offensive prowess pretty clearly exceeds Itachi's defensive prowess, the only way for him to win this is if his own offense exceeds their defense by a greater amount. Now since we're talking about Itachi, something like this is actually fairly possible, since he has access to a lot of crazy one-shot abilities that the Kage have to watch out for. I think the most dangerous things he has up his sleeve are the Totsuka Blade and his various Genjutsu, especially because he can use both of them in combination with one another. Being able to immobilize someone with Genjutsu and then instantly seal them with the Totsuka Blade is obviously pretty dangerous, but the thing is Itachi can only do this to one person at a time.
Yes,
even though it's
sir.
not explicitly stated that all of Itachi's Genjutsu are...
Yeah, Tsukuyomi is going to be probably one of his best abilities right here, especially if he uses like the one-shot version, but he can only do that like... He goes like blind, like in that left eye of his, like right after using it on Sasuke, right? Or am I tweaking? Like he can't see in that.
I forget. You have to like go back to the fight to fucking double check.
Single target. We have never ever seen him cast a Genjutsu on more than one person simultaneously. Now, before anybody says it, yes, I know that before Itachi first used Tsukuyomi, Kakashi told Asuma and Kurenai to close their eyes. So first of all, Kakashi had no idea how Tsukuyomi worked at this point. So even if he did think that Itachi was going to catch all 3 of them with Tsukuyomi, that doesn't mean that Itachi could have actually done it. It could have just been him being cautious. And anyway, nothing about what he says actually implies he even thinks Itachi is going to use it on all 3 of them at once. Kakashi told them to close their eyes because he didn't want Itachi to try and use Tsukuyomi on either of them instead of him. He thought his own Sharingan would give him some amount of immunity to whatever Sharingan Genjutsu he thought Itachi was about to cast. And if he had been right about this, and whatever jutsu Itachi was going to use didn't work on him, then of course Itachi would have tried to use it on either Asuma or Kurenai instead. And if Kakashi had only told one of them to close their eyes for some reason, then Itachi would have just looked at whoever still had their eyes open. And anyway, the idea that Tsukuyomi or Uchiha Genjutsu in general are multi-target is...
He used it on Kakashi and Sasuke in the same day and it messed him up. Yeah, bro. You remember that blunt? He was like out of breath. He was like, bro, I had to resort to using not only Tsukuyomi but the Amaterasu as well. We need to go. I need to rest. Bro, he was
I think I was gonna say what I think happens is with his illness, so that's where it actually does mess with him, at least like alive. Whenever he uses Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu, it's like ridiculously like taxing and like painful.
Yeah, it's just like the sickness like is a direct nerf to his stamina, but I think the jutsu potency would stay the same. But it's just pretty funny that like he's like, nah, I use too many of my abilities. I can't even fight fucking Jiraiya, and all all of the Kage should like scale to or above Jiraiya. Most, in my opinion, they like all of the stronger Kage are like above the Sani, and of course Tsunade is a Sani and she's there too. So it's like Itachi wasn't even willing to fight one Sani level opponent, let alone like four of them, and also May, I guess. But still, it's pretty funny.
Is later debunked during Kakashi's very next fight with Itachi, when Chiyo literally says that Uchiha aren't super dangerous when they're fighting multiple enemies at once because they can't trap all of their opponents in the same genjutsu. Anyway, even if Tsukuyomi was multi-target, I'm sure the Kage would have enough sense to just not look into Itachi's eyes. And before anybody says it, yes, I know the Raikage was caught by Madara's genjutsu, but to be fair, he was fighting 5 Susanoo wood clones at the same time, so he was under way more physical pressure than I imagine Itachi would be able to put on him. Now, of course, I know Itachi knows more genjutsu than just Tsukuyomi and his generic Sharingan genjutsu, so Chiyo's statement about Uchiha versus large groups of people, that doesn't necessarily mean Itachi doesn't know any genjutsu that work on more than one person at the same time. But like I said before, we've never seen him use a multi-target genjutsu, so we don't know if he can. It's kind of implied that Itachi can do this sort of thing in chapter 540, but the statement about it is pretty vague. So basically what happens is Chikaku and Inoichi are trying to figure out how the enemy has managed to infiltrate multiple allied shinobi forces camps spread throughout their territory. The reason this is so weird is because they have sensory ninja stationed at all of these camps, but still somehow the enemy is managing to sneak past.
If we're gonna believe that shit, then Jiraiya claps Itachi and Kisame with more members. Nah, that's like fatigued Itachi though. That's what I meant. So like after Itachi uses like a few jutsu, he was like, "Damn, I'm too tired to fucking fight Jiraiya," type shit. So after he uses like too many of his MS abilities, like presumably, even back then, he wasn't willing to do so. Like his sickness probably is even worse in Shippuden. Right, you could say that might be an assumption, but like if he's had like stage fucking 4 cancer for like an extra 3 years during the time skip, then he probably, his condition probably got worse. You know what I'm saying? So after he uses a few of his MS abilities, he's gonna be like fighting 4 Kage level 4 Sani level opponents and Mei, and he's just gonna kind of get cooked. Like by his own logic, by his own admission. Once he's fatigued, he's like kind of scared to fight Asani. So, yeah, I don't think Itachi would have actually lost to him, especially if he whips out the fucking Susanoo. But still, it's like when he's fatigued, he considers Asani a threat to him.
Them. They later find out that this is because White Zetsu are impersonating members of the allied shinobi forces, and they're even able to manipulate their chakra signatures, so that even sensory ninja mistake them for the people they're impersonating. Now, the statement about Itachi comes from before they realize this. Shikaku hypothesizes that a genjutsu is being used by someone on the outside, and the first person that he can think of that might be capable of something like this is Itachi. However, Inoichi immediately says that something like this would be far beyond the capabilities of even Itachi, so this doesn't really tell us much anyway. Now, to be fair, based on the way they're talking about him, it is kind of fair to assume that maybe he's used multi-target genjutsu in the past, but even if that is the case, we have no idea how one of these would work, even if Itachi could use it, because we've never seen him do it before. Now, trust me, I do get why people bring this up, and I don't want to downplay Itachi, but it's a bit outrageous to assume, based on this 3-sentence conversation between 2 people who probably don't even know him all that well, that he has a genjutsu at his disposal that can 1. Immobilize multiple targets at once, and 2. Leave them immobilized for long enough that he can stab all of them with the Totsuka blade without being interrupted. Even if they had been right, and Itachi had been the person behind this genjutsu, all it actually did was nullify the sensory powers of the allied shinobi force's sensory ninja. So not only did they barely know Itachi, they also turned out to be wrong, and even if they had been right, the statement wouldn't be anywhere close to impressive enough to convince me that Itachi could just walk onto the battlefield, look at all 5 Kage, trap them in a genjutsu, and instantly win the fight with the Totsuka blade. Now, all that said, I still recognize that Itachi's genjutsu is formidable. I just don't think that he can use it on more than one person at the same time. He'll probably manage to trap one of the 5 Kage in a genjutsu they can't escape from, but since both Inoki and Gaara are capable of bypassing his Susanoo, one of them might be able to get rid of the Susanoo before Itachi can even seal the other with the Totsuka blade. And as long as the genjutsu that Itachi uses isn't Tsukuyomi, then I'm sure at least one of the other 5 Kage, particularly Tsunade, will be able to dispel it. Now, aside from his genjutsu, the only thing Itachi has that poses a serious threat to the 5 Kage is the Totsuka blade, but since Inoki and Gaara can constantly just yeet him out of his Susanoo, he won't be able to reliably seal them with it. To be fair, the 5 Kage shouldn't know how the Totsuka blade works, but at the same time, I don't think any of them, aside from probably Tsunade, I guess, would go charging headfirst straight into this gigantic chakra blade. Even if they don't know that it will seal them away as soon as it touches them, it still looks like getting hit by it would hurt really bad. Amaterasu might be a problem if it can actually hit any of the Kage, but the Raikage is fast enough to dodge it.
Bro, the way they used to draw Amaterasu is so fucking dope, man. I don't think they draw it like this in Boruto anymore. It's so fucking cool, man.
As we've seen, and Gaara's sand can move fast enough to block it. Izanami doesn't even matter at all, because he can only use it a maximum of 2 times, and each time he uses it, he loses one of his Sharingan. So even if he could get rid of 2 of the Kage with Izanami, which isn't even something I'm confident he could do, he'd still have 3 Kage left to fight with no Sharingan. So all in all, I'm pretty confident that the Kage have this in the bag. Now, I was planning on talking about Edo Itachi at the end here, but this video is already almost 30 minutes long, and I don't know if I want to make a whole separate video about it, but I definitely don't have enough time left in this video to go over it here. Edo Itachi aside, I'm pretty sure I've covered everything I needed to, so hope everybody enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care.
Alright. You know what? That was a cool video. I'm leaving a like on it. I did like that. I think...
Yeah, the conclusion was right, for sure.
Yeah. That's... Like... I like that he went into more depth than Seth and Six did. I think that he did a better job on this topic than they did, but his conclusion was right. He did say a kind of a lot of weird stuff, but at least he agrees that the 5 Kage are still a little bit too much for Itachi to handle. Sasori lost to Chio and Sakura, my boy. He definitely did. Sasori is ass. But alright. Thanks for coming on though, Blunt. And thanks for suggesting the video. This is a dope topic to talk about.
Of course. So shout out to all the lucky night owls. Leave a like, hit the sub button if you haven't already. And before I take off, I think that if it's not Edo Itachi, it's just way too much for him to like even try to like go against. And like even Edo Itachi just has like such a big uphill like to climb. Like it'd be extremely high diff if he does take the dub, like extremely high diff. So the most logical conclusion is like the War Kage just beat him. They steal him. Even if like a couple of them die or get sealed, like they'd end up winning.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's the 5 Kage are just so OP though. They're so OP. But yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate that. And
yeah, good night, everybody.
All right, man. I'm gonna catch you later, bro. Yeah, fucking love Blunt. Oh man. Definitely was. I do like that video from Swag. I think that's one of the first videos I ever saw from him 4 years ago. So hold on. Let me see how old this video actually was. It came out in 2019. Yeah, I think that is around the time when I started watching his vids. Maybe 2018. But I do remember when he first dropped this video. I was watching Swag when he first dropped this video, so almost 5 years ago. Yo, Loco, how strong is Hokage Shikamaru? Like, is he really just tree level in AP? Yeah, he's kind of just dog shit. Like, the novel in which that tree, like, below tree level AP comes from is, like, after Boruto has karma and fights Momoshiki. It happens after that. Does it? Is it after he fights Momoshiki? I think it's like either right before or right after they fight Momoshiki, right? And like Shikamaru can't even break a fucking tree with Shadow Strangle, so he's kind of just ass. I think the first vid I saw from Swag was a Minato vid, unsurprisingly. Yeah. Ooh. Oh man, my allergies coming back. The fuck? Alright. I think I'm gonna head out though. A shorter stream than normal. I did do a fucking 4-hour stream yesterday, so I don't want to be here for that long. But I might stream tomorrow. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll probably want to stream a little bit earlier, to be honest. I don't want to be fucking this late anymore, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the Night Owl special. Hey, thanks for coming on, Blunt. Thanks again. Had fun. But yeah, allergies in the winter is nasty work. It's like a fur allergy, I guess. But go stream. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna head out, guys. I don't want to be here for too long. I'm getting a little bit late, but I did have fun with you guys. Go study, nerd. Hey, fuck you, man. I do need to study though. But Thanks to all you guys for showing up. I did have fun reacting to these videos, but I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna catch y'all later.